Hello everyone. This video is going to be in a bit of a different format than my Bloodborne review, and the reason for that is I'm still learning, I'm still getting used to the editing process, and I had worked all day yesterday editing the Horizon Zero Dawn review. By the evening I had it all done, it was a finished video, it was ready to be uploaded, and then I made some last minute stupid mistakes and everything got deleted. And I honestly debated not doing the review at all because I just didn't have the time to go through the whole process again. So I slept on it and came back the next day and decided to just talk about the game because this game truly deserves a review. I have to admit, before playing Horizon, I really wasn't all that excited to dive into it. I remember my excitement level being through the roof back when it was first revealed, but for some reason, after almost 2 years of build-up, I went into Horizon's February 28th release date with little to no expectations. However, after having played the game for about 30-ish hours, I have to say, Horizon Zero Dawn is a must-play for any PlayStation 4 owner, and honestly warrants a console purchase for those still on the fence. In this review, I will touch briefly on the story, no spoilers, the map, the gameplay, and the game's technical performance. Guerrilla Games, in my opinion, have always been great storytellers, with their games always rich in lore and history. Now, with Horizon, they have clearly pushed themselves even further, especially with their characterization. The main character, Aloy, is complex and interesting, and an excellent protagonist. Her constant curiosity about the world around her keeps the story feeling fresh, and it forces the player to always be asking questions as the story progresses. I also find that the story really takes advantage of the game's map. In Horizon, there are really two stories that the player experiences. At the beginning of the game, when you are learning the controls and how to hunt various different enemy types, Horizon's story is very small and contained. It revolves around this event called The Proving. It is only upon completing this first, essentially mini-story, that a much deeper, more grand story is unveiled, and subsequently, the entire map comes into play. Now, it took me a while to really get into Horizon Zero Dawn's story, but not long after I started meeting different characters and doing side quests did the story really pick up. There was never a dull moment in the around 19-hour campaign, and the side quests offered the same level of fun and immersion as the main quests. Guerrilla Games continue to impress with the stories in their games, and Horizon marks a serious improvement in the studio. Before I picked up Horizon, I honestly thought the game had only one type of environment, like that of Northern Europe, but I was very wrong. Horizon Zero Dawn has an incredible amount of variety in its map, from snow-capped mountains to the arid desert wastelands, and even to a large dense rainforest. This map has it all. I was honestly blown away by this map. It is definitely one of the best game maps to date in my opinion. One last thing I will say about the story of Horizon, which heavily ties into the map, is the history of the various cultures in the game. Because the map is so diverse, so too are the cultures. Aloy's tribe is very much matriarchal, with a sort of Native American / Celtic inspiration. Conversely, the Carja seem to be a mix of several possible cultures, such as the Romans for their military organization, the Aztecs for their strong worship and willingness to sacrifice humans for their cause, and possibly Macedonian Persia for its architectural flair. Seeing the various cultures interact with each other throughout the game, and examining the vast differences in political structure and religion is incredibly satisfying, especially for someone like me who loves history. At first, I had a rough time getting into the game's control scheme, primarily having circle be the dodge button and square being the squat button. I had been so used to that scheme being flipped that it was a pretty hard transition for me to make, but I eventually got accustomed to it. One other annoyance to the controls is the weapon wheel. I often found myself selecting the wrong ammo type when my weapon of choice held 3 different types of ammo. It really happens more often than you would think, and it is definitely annoying. Apart from those minor grievances, I like Horizon's gameplay. It's very fast and fluid, which is a necessity when going up against a Thunderjaw. Horizon has just enough weapon variety that it's not too overbearing or confusing, and the same goes for ammo types. Guerrilla also made accessing your weapons and ammo seamless, as not to interrupt the flow of combat. Horizon also has a perk system, which is kind of a mixed bag. There are some perks that are really useful to obtain, such as Tinkering, and the critical hit perks. However, some are just downright useless, like being able to aim while walking on a rope, which honestly should have been a gameplay mechanic from the beginning. I will say that the fast travel mechanic in Horizon is really weird. I'm not really sure what the thought process was behind this feature. In the game, you cannot fast travel across the map unless you have a fast travel pack. One fast travel pack allows you to fast travel one time, unless you get the unlimited fast travel pack, which pretty much renders the whole fast travel pack system useless. I also found myself getting stuck in multiple places around the map. I'm not sure if it's me, which is entirely possible, considering I'm certainly not the best player out there, but it happened to me more times than I care to admit. It can really be frustrating, especially when you're in combat. As for the game's technical performance, it's solid. I never encountered any stutters, freezes, or hard crashes during my playtime. The only noticeable issue for me, at least, is the game's use of intense color and lighting. I can recall multiple times where I would be riding my mount at night, and I could barely see where I was going. The intense blue light from my mount's face, and from the moon, conflicted to where my visibility was extremely limited. I also have been in situations where a cloud would pass over the moon at night, and suddenly it was daytime, with a very reddish sky. After the cloud had passed, it was night again. I haven't seen environmental behavior that weird since Mafia 3, and not once before that. Horizon Zero Dawn signifies a dramatic change for Guerrilla Games, and showcases the creative talent the studio houses. I certainly see a bright future for the developer, and I'm sure they have much more planned for the series going forward. Horizon Zero Dawn is a tremendous accomplishment, and a game you should pick up as soon as you can.